Hello and welcome to another session, and in this session I'm going to show you how in Java we can create a jot and we can also validate a jot and what are the best practices. But before we go there, let me quickly introduce you or give you a quick recap of what a jot is. So jot is basically a security token. It's a very compact security token, and an example jot is shown here, and the token consists of three parts, as you might already know. The first part is the header, the second part is the payload, and the third part is the signature. And the algorithm can be many, and the most common algorithms are either RSA-256 or HS-256. Now, in this video, we are going to see how we can create a jot like this and how we can actually validate the jot. So, let's see the code how we can create the jot. So, this is a typical Java code to create a jot. And this Java code is created using the most popular jot creation library, which is the Nimbus library. I will show a quick demo of that as well, but let us first try to understand the code snippets at a high level. On top, what you can see is how we are generating the public and the private key pair. So normally it is recommended that we should actually create a jot with an asymmetric key and not with a symmetric key, because symmetric key is much easier to get hacked. So we are here generating a public private pair key using the RSA algorithm, and then we are creating the payload. So payload is the actual body of the jot which contains different key value pairs. So these claims are nothing but key value pairs. There are some standard claims, there are some standard key value pairs like issuer, and then there are some custom claims like these are the custom claims which I created, user ID, role, etc. and also the expiration time. And then finally here is how I can sign the jot. So normally we do not create the data encrypted because the purpose of the jot is not to encrypt the data, but the purpose of the jot is to actually prove to the recipient that the jot token has been actually created by a certain authority who has signed it. So now let us go ahead and see a demo of how we can create a jot of this, and most importantly how we can validate the jot, because validation of the jot is really very critical. To the demo, the code base for this project is present in my GitHub repo, and the description is the link to my GitHub repo is provided in the description below. So it is basically a very simple project with a single dependency in POM, which is this Nimbus JOS jot library. As you can see here, this is a single dependency, and a single class is here which creates the jot and which validates the jot. So the jot is created in this private method and the jot is validated within this private method. Now before we create the jot, we must generate the key pair. So here we are using the RSA key pair because the RSA is an asymmetric algorithm. The public and the private keys are separate, so this is a best practice. You should normally sign a jot with an RSA key instead of simple secret, which is a symmetric secret. So you should try to always sign the jot with an RSA key. And here is the main code to actually create the payload or create the main body of the jot, as you can see, and it contains some claims. Claims are basically some key value pairs. There are some standard claims like issuer, expiration time, but I can also add as many number of custom claims which I can use to actually insert some application specific key value pairs to pass on to the recipient application. So this is the main payload, and then I'm signing the payload here with the public key. With the private key, the jot is signed. And then once the jot is created, then I'm validating the jot here. So first I'm validating the jot with the public key, and then I'm doing another second level of validation, which is I'm validating whether the jot expiration time is passed or not. So which means whether the jot is still alive or it is expired. So it is very important that in your production code you add both this validation, because it is important not only to do a signature validation, but also important to do whether the jot is alive or jot has expired. So let us now go ahead and run the class. You see that I have introduced an expiration time of only 2 seconds, and therefore I will do a thread.sleep for 5 seconds, and then it will say that the jot has expired, so it will not be able to validate the jot. It will return false. So let us see how what it does. So it has created the jot, and now it will return that the jot is invalid. So the jot is invalid. Now, say for example, if I comment the thread.slip and then again run it, then the jot will be valid, because then 2 seconds will not expire. For all practical purposes, normally the expiration time will be 2 minutes or 5 minutes. So this is just for demonstration. See that the jot is valid. And now you can also just copy this jot and go to the URL jot.io and copy paste the jot here to see. See, this is the user ID, the role, etc. The algorithm is RSA 256. So this is the jot that we created. I hope you should be able to clone my repo and should be able to create and validate the jot using the code which I already provided. So it's a completely working code, and you should be able to use that code in your Spring Boot or any other Java application to create the jot and validate the jot. I will also create a project in Spring Boot to incorporate that jot creation and validation. Now let us see what are some of the best practices of jot. Normally we never encrypt the data in jot, because the purpose of the jot is not to hide the data. Rather, the purpose of the jot is to prove that the jot has been originated from a valid party. Now if somebody is also able to steal your jot, still he will not be able to make any significant damage to you, because normally we have a short expiration time, anything between 2 to 5 minutes for jot. And another most important thing is, in jot, please ensure that you do not keep any really sensitive information like credit card number or CVV number or password, passphrase, nothing. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the session, and if you like this session and if you want to stay tuned for this kind of sessions, please feel free to share it with others, subscribe and like, and also provide your feedback by commenting, because that's going to motivate me. Thank you and have a nice day.